His name was Dave. He was a student, drawing pictures on windows to impress a girl he knows. Do you want to go out? Please use the checkbox. And when she put the paper down, that's when Merlin came around. He blew the note away. It stuck to everything. That's when Balthazar appears and Dave peed his pants at Arcana Cabana. Dave said there was fire, and they said he was a liar at Arcana Cabana. Magic and antiques and a fight that made Dave pee his pants.
Bucky's Basement.
Welcome to this week's episode of Bucky's Basement. I'm Bucky, and as always in the basement with me today, I have Old Boy.
Because I can read minds.
And the man who needs no introduction, Juicebox.
Did you know humans only use 10% of their brain? And if you believe that stat, you're probably using about 1% of your brain.
And this week we got two opening theme songs, thanks to Juicebox's great plot by Juicebox. Because this week we are doing a big film, Disney's The Sorcerers Apprentice. This movie came out in 2010.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lie. When I found out that antique store was called Arcana Cabana, all I could fucking think about was that it was doing that for the plot by Juicebox.
That's funny.
2010's The Sorcerer's Apprentice is kind of a children's type movie. It currently sits at 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 6.1 IMDb rating, and it is directed by a guy that we are starting to get familiar with, Mr.
Turteltaubbeed.
John Turteltaubbeed. Or Taub or whatever.
I don't know.
Anyway, we've gone over this before twice because he directed National Treasure and National Treasure Book of Secrets. You can't say two.
It feels like a National Treasure movie.
That's part of my movie marriage this week. Anyway, John Turteltaubbeed, if you were not a big National Treasure fan and didn't tune in for those two podcasts we did, also directed some great movies from our childhood, including Three Ninjas, Cool Runnings, Phenomenon, Instinct, and most recently, The Meg.
Cool Runnings is still a great movie.
Yeah. Three Ninjas, I think, is a great movie.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that, so I can't remember.
Probably doesn't hold up. Anyway, before we get into the cast and plot of this week's episode, Disney's The Sorcerer's Apprentice, we want to know what else could you have seen in theaters and what was the budget? Because I think, I'm going to go ahead and say this. We haven't looked this stuff up. I think this was a success.
Well, it's interesting you say that. The budget was $150 million and it grossed $215 worldwide.
That's a success.
It sounds like a success, but they said it was a critical flop because it's for a big budget film like that, the margins aren't that much.
Well, no, I mean, a critical flop and a financial flop are two different things. A critical flop means that just everybody thought it was a shitty movie.
Well, yeah, I guess, but they were saying the margin wasn't enough for that big of a budget. But I was like,
well, that's because I mean,
millions.
we've talked about it before. Like, they never factor in like the advertising and all the shit that like goes into actually marketing the movie or whatever after the fact. And that's like where they're always like, we didn't make any money. You know, it's all shady. I'm sure it's all shady because like, what if movies never made money like people say they don't? Then there wouldn't be
movies. Yeah.
This week, you're going to find out if we think this is a shitty movie. But before we do that, we want to know if you went to the movie theater on opening night to see The Sorcerer's Apprentice, what else could you have spent your money on and time? More important.
July 14th, 2010. You could have seen Despicable Me.
Oh.
You could have seen the Twilight Saga, Eclipse. I think that's the one we did.
Is Twilight 3?
Toy Story 3, Grown Ups, which is it an Adam Sandler movie?
Yep.
Predators, The Last Airbender, Night and Day, and The Karate Kid, the A-Team.
Sounds like it's a time of year for children's movies. Kids are out of school.
Right. Yeah, summertime.
Yeah, kids are out of school. You want to take them to the movies. They need something to do. So when you went to the theater, Despicable Me was huge. Toy Story 3, I think, was huge.
I didn't see any of these movies in theaters.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't either, but I was living here then. I was hanging out with you guys that summer.
Well, yeah, we were probably watching Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, that's true. That was like Gosh, probably shortly after we had just started our podcast. We were probably watching Lottery Ticket. I remember watching Lottery Ticket in the summertime.
Is that little Bow Wow?
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's get into the cast of The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Obviously, we are here for one reason and one reason only. That is to honor the great Nicolas Cage with a chronological review of all of his films. We are in the mid to late 40s right now, I guess, in our ages and in this
all around. It's all aligning.
Relative.
Nick Cage plays Balthazar in this movie. He is
Balthazar Blake.
Yeah, he is one of
he had
the
a last name.
I said it at one point.
Okay. Huh.
One of Merlin's three apprentices at the time, but three sorcerers.
Right.
We've got Jay. I'm going to say this one time and one time only. Baruchel. I've never known how to pronounce this guy's name. He plays Dave. Basically,
Stutler.
Spider-Man in the beginning. I don't know. I got some vibes of that.
Yeah.
He's just like your typical, teenage kid.
I mean, it was just very generic, like origin story, just totally. This kid's nerdy, and one thing happened to him that embarrassed him, and blah blah blah.
Doesn't know he has powers. You get Teresa Palmer, who plays Becky, Dave's love interest in this.
Way out of his league.
Aren't they all though?
I mean,
like when you go to like Transformers and Megan Fox and they have to put the hot girl in there to give the insecure, unsure of himself kid who now has these, newfound powers. I don't know.
Yeah,
is she attracted to the powers or is she attracted to him?
I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out. All right. Alfred Molina plays Horvath in this movie. Love this guy.
Same, dude.
Love him.
Yeah, he's great. You can tell, like, in this movie, like, he knows what it is, and he's just, like, eating up the scene. Like, every scene that he's in, he's just, like, over the top, like, just...
He's great.
He's a Disney
leaning
character.
into it. Yeah, he's leaning into it, and I'm bored.
Anyway, we got Monica Bellucci.
I just wrote down Monica Bellucci. She is not in this movie.
No kid, man. Like, few speaking lines.
All right, let's open this thing up with, normally we do Bucky's establishing shot, but that's going to come a little bit later because we're going to get an entire backstory. In fact, we get two not backstories, but two opening scenes to explain what's going to happen in real time. It's like two full things, too.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's start this.
But by definition... the opening shot has to be the establishing shot, right?
750 AD.
Okay, I guess. Bucky's establishing opening, not shot, because we are automatically just cued in that we are in Britain in 740 AD.
Right.
We're introduced to Merlin, who is a sorcerer. We've got a little bit of a voiceover here to explain this.
Like a storybook beginning.
Correct. He's got three apprentices, Balthazar, Veronica, and Horvath. Sorry,
Yeah.
Horvath.
Sounds like Horvath.
So he's got his three, and then we meet Morgana, who is Merlin's mortal enemy. She is a very powerful sorceress witch. And we learned that, obviously, this has happened. We've seen it in so many things. Morgana, you got Horvath, who's Morgana's like number two and turns on his friends and his family. Yeah. And you got Balthazar, who's Merlin's number two. And then you got Veronica, who's kind of stuck in the middle.
Okay. I feel that there's a lot of shit that I could talk about here that I have so many issues with. But, like, okay, they say that there's Morganians and Merlinians, right? And like the Merlinians are the good sorcerers and the Morganians are the evil sorcerers.
Right. It's a war of sorcerers or some shit. Yep.
So Horvath is a fucking Morganian, but he's being trained as the apprentice by Merlin.
Yeah, he
just tricked everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
was what they got. But like, isn't it like part of their lineage or something? Because like when he finds the dude later on in the future, Chris Angel, how is that there? He's like, oh, a Morganian, and it's like, how this guy's just a fucking like cheap magician that's like, cashing in on shit. Does that make him a bad sorcerer because he's using his magic to make money? I just had so many things, and then it's like, why are they called Merlinians?
I don't know. Prime Merlinian I had a big issue with, but
we learn in this opening backstory that there is the most dangerous spell in the world called the Rising. It's the most badass spell. You are able to rise the dead to fight for you. Reminds me a lot of National Treasure.
But only dead Morganians. Again, only the dead sorcerers were who they could resurrect or whatever.
No, what is this?
Why wouldn't you burn that spell? Why would you keep it around? It's like, hey man, this shit's dangerous, and we're never gonna use it. Let's burn this shit.
So we get a big fight, and then we learn about the Grimhold, which is going to take place a lot in this movie.
It's a Russian nesting doll.
It's a Russian nesting doll that they can trap people inside and inside and inside for years. It's an unescapable prison is what it is described as.
Right.
We also learn
until it is.
Yeah.
Until
somebody touches it.
We also learn there's a dragon ring.
That's
and
right.
This ring gives somebody all kinds of powers, but really the power is inside of you. You don't need the ring, but the ring comes alive. And the ring attaches itself on. It's like that sword that you can pull out of the rock. You can't pull out of the rock.
Also, Arthenian Excalibur.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the ring's real purpose is just finding the prime Merlinian, I guess, right?
But no, they have to have a ring to do magic.
Right.
Everybody has a ring.
Right.
But then the prime Merlinian can apparently do magic without the ring.
Right.
So can anybody be a sorcerer then if they have one of these rings, or does it take a specific person?
Don't know.
I think the ring has to choose you. It has to come alive and snatch onto your finger, even though you can take it off. It seemed like when that ring clamped down on his finger in the next scene that we're going to talk about, it's like one of those things where you can't take this shit off. It won't let you take it off.
He took it off all the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that made no sense to me in this movie.
Maybe it just formed to his finger and it was like...
So we learn about this dragon ring, and unfortunately, everybody gets put in the Grimhold except Balthazar, who has to somehow go through time searching for the kid who is going to be the next Merlin that this ring attaches to. And in this part, we get the many looks of Nick Cage through time.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's great. I'm fine with this, except for this one fucking hang up that I have. Like, they say the prime Merlinian... What are we doing with our lives?
I know,
what the
man.
fuck are we doing?
I know. I was like,
I'm gonna... Like, that's somebody that is like descendant from Merlin, right? Like he says that like later on, like he has Merlin's blood somewhere in him. This motherfucker is was Merlin super old, like thousands of years old or something?
Yeah, don't know.
Because I'm like, he's traveled around the world. It's like, motherfucker, you're going to like
India,
Africa and India and shit. Like, was Merlin just fucking slaying pussy like everywhere, like all types of shit, just fucking like?
I think Merlin could be the third person on Earth according to the Bible. It was like Adam and Eve, and then Merlin, and like all of the descendants come from him.
That's in the Bible.
He banged Eve, and then all of a sudden, here comes right before she died.
Hell yeah!
I don't know. You have to throw some more people in there to make it realistic.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna rewrite the Bible on Bucky's Basement. All right, this backstory is over finally. Yeah. Then we get another moniker on the screen. New York City, 2010. We are introduced to young Dave, who goes on a field trip.
It was the year 2000.
Was it 2000?
Yeah. Because this movie came out in 2010 or whatever.
Right. It skips 10 years after he's a kid.
Oh shit. They didn't have the Twin Towers in the establishing shot for New York. I don't know if y'all noticed that. I
did notice that.
Because you're right. That's the one thing I thought when I saw it was 2000. Anyway, so we're on a field trip. Reminds me a lot. And he has a fat friend. So Spider-Man.
Kind of,
on a school bus.
I mean,
gonna have to save the day,
dude. I mean, you're not wrong about that. Like, that is total. They're like, hey, this is the formula for the new Spider-Man movie. Like, this friendship right here.
Yep. And the opening song of this podcast this week, Juicebox talked a lot about the note. We get young David, maybe in the 3rd or 4th grade, writes a note. Do you love me? Check yes or no. Gives it to the girl. Girl gives it back. Note flies away. The whole catalyst for him starting this sorcerer's journey.
That note is the stickiest note ever. It sticks to that dude's bicycle tires. He's riding down the street. That just sticks to a dog. And then
how many times do you think they shot that dog scene? Like, he walked on that thing perfect.
Yeah.
This note leads him to Nick Cage's antique shop. I think we all know the name of that now.
What is it?
Arcana Cabana. Now, the weirdest fucking name for an antique shop is what I remember. And the note flies in there. So immediately we get Nick Cage's character Balthazar coming out, and the first thing he thinks of is, you know what, I've traveled the world for hundreds of years to find this kid. Maybe this is the kid.
Because his note randomly blew in here or whatever. Like, that was the catalyst.
And the dragon ring fits, so we've got the prime Merlinian
to acquit.
Yeah, and he gets to quit. Basically, it was like, Balthazar, you're done.
Yeah.
That's it. You can retire. You can get older now.
God.
That spell froze him in time until some kid took the ring. Then he can start aging.
And theoretically, like, the kid can kill the evil sorceress, and he can get his girlfriend back too, right? Like,
We get a sigh of relief. We're gonna go get him a book, and then what happens? A kid is a kid. He knocks over some shit in an antique shop. He knocks the Grimhold open. It breaks open. Dr. Octopus just straight pops out of this thing, and roaches create him.
So I was watching this with my son earlier today, and I was like, when that scene came on, I was like, so if you saw this happen, if you knocked over a vase and this many bugs started coming out and it was forming a human being, what would you do? He's like, I'd run away. It's like,
damn right.
Of course you fucking
damn right.
would.
I'd
Like,
get the hell out of there.
Instead, Dave sticks around to meet Horvath. Who's my favorite? Like, is my favorite opening line from, or one of them, I guess, in cinematic history. Like, what the first thing Arnold says in Terminator and things like that. Dude, he comes out and he says, "When am I?" And Dave says, "You're in New York City." I didn't ask where. I asked when.
Dumb fuck.
Then we get the Sorcerers fight. Nick Cage comes out. He's like, "Oh, fuck, what'd you do, kid?" Puts the Horvath up on the ceiling. We obviously get established at this point that Cage is, Balthazar. Fuck you, Disney, for these names. Fuck you, Disney.
Just call him Nick Cage.
Anyway, we get Nick Cage. We established that he is more powerful than Horvath.
He's already defeated him once.
Right.
Yeah, and he can do anything he wants with him, basically.
Real quick, though, we do learn that, like, that ring has, like, a control over the Grimoire.
Grimhold.
Grimhold.
Yeah.
See, fuck you, Disney.
So
I
it's
hate
like,
you for all these
why
words.
would Nick Cage just, like, put that on his head? Like, he's got this ring on. Anytime he moves it around, it makes this thing start fucking flying around. It's like,
dude. What? Yeah, why'd you leave him with it?
He's like, I told you what happened to not touching anything. It's like, what happened to, why don't you tell me this ring can fucking move this thing that's got all these demons in it?
Yeah.
So this fight goes on. They both end up in this big ass urn. They turn to sand. I don't know. It's a fucking sorcerer movie. They turn to sand. They go in this big urn. Dave runs out, throws away the thing.
Pees his pants.
Whatever. And then
water spilled on his pants. It's water.
Then
fire.
Then we get scene cut 2. Backstory number 2 is over.
Yep.
Then let's go into present day. 10 years later. So we know that he's about 19-ish, 18, 19.
Sure.
He had just turned 19, I guess. Because it's like says it's his birthday or something when he sees his roommate.
Yeah, we meet him because he's a roommate. He has a roommate. He's in college now at NYU. Pretty smart kid. It's what happens when you're embarrassed and you pee your pants and you tell people that you saw a flying sorcerer and a guy pushing somebody across the street, and there's these people locked in this fucking thing that, this little wood thing. What do you call it?
Urn, I guess?
No. It's
the Grimhold?
The Grimhold. Russian doll.
Yeah.
I would think the kid's crazy too, but what I have said so many times on this podcast is right now, I think I would believe people if they told me some stuff like this.
If they told you that they saw a Russian doll break open and enough bugs came out to make a human being, and then another human being came out and blasted him to the ceiling with a bolt of
plasma.
Yeah, I don't
Actually, I believe you would believe it.
I told you guys I have to start believing stuff from now on, or we're all going to die and the world's going to end.
I told Bucky asked me where I was once, and I was like, I've been on this work trip, and we had talked about what trip I was going on for weeks, and I was like, huh? I knew he did not know what I was talking about, so I told him I was on tour, going to Barry Manilow shows in the Caribbean.
And didn't I believe
selling
you?
Boots, and you fucking believe
because I got to start being pro-belief. If it sounds crazy and too good to be true. It could save my life one day.
You're right. There's going to be a new movie. It's starring Bucky called Believing, and he just believes everything. And it's like how he succeeds by just believing every fucking shtick that people give to him.
I meet up with Nick Cage, and we have to fight like the ultimate bad guy.
I got my next fast pitch.
knowing, believe me. All right, so let's go on. We have established the first two backstories. We're up to present day. 10 years later, adult David has grown up, and now he meets Becky again. You know, they're in college. We found out Becky is a DJ, a local college DJ.
Yeah.
Very proud about that.
Dave is like so smart that he's teaching a class.
He's a teacher's apprentice, I think.
A teacher. Okay. So Dave is just an apprentice all around.
Yeah,
like he's very good at being an apprentice or mediocre at being an apprentice.
She's a DJ. Dave saves the day at the radio station.
This shit is so awkward. He meets her though when he's like in the class and he's like remembers her
Just
and
looking
she
right
has
at her crotch.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I have no idea who you are. Meanwhile, he's obsessed over her for the fucking past 10 years. Like, it's just like, this is like, you're already creepy.
And then we find out that Dave works in a lair. And I was like, is this the Ninja Turtles, like, abandoned underground subway thing?
For sure.
I mean, it looks just like it.
I mean, seriously, he says it's an abandoned subway turnaround that they just let him use because he's experimenting with Tesla coils.
And who gave access to this kid, this badass thing underground?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's on like some kind of like genius grant or something like that. Because like the fact that they're letting him just unsupervised set this shit up underground, like
massive electricity experiments. Yeah.
Up next, we get Horvath and Balthazar are released from the urn. We're so back. We've got, it's like Demolition Man. It's like when those two guys, when Stallone and Snipes come back.
Yeah, when they're thawed out.
And then my favorite is we find Horvath visiting Dave. And I wrote, the guy spent 10 years reading a 4th grade paper. Ha ha.
I mean, the insanity.
Right.
If this guy wasn't already a crazy person.
Locked in an urn for 10 years, and the only thing he has in that urn is a 4th grade paper on Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah, Dynamite. But I do love
Napoleon Dynamite.
I do love it though because
he
makes sure to criticize the paper. He's like, look, Dick.
Anyway, then we meet.
He put it on his fridge,
and then we get the first meeting, or kind of first little sit down, heart to heart, where Dave and Nick Cage are like, you know what you did to me in the last 10 years? You know what you did to me? Like, we all have a different perspective. I get it. One's locked in an urn. One had to go to a crazy house and then prove himself not crazy.
Did he have to go to a crazy house? I thought he just said he had to transfer schools or whatever.
Yeah, he just had a therapist.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's just a crazy house.
Okay.
We're going to help.
Unpack that later on.
Now we're going to have to establish that Balthazar needs to get the Grimhold, and he has found the Apprentice to do it. Get that ring back on, get your life back, get his life back. Let's
start training.
Yeah, let's just do this. We learned that we're traveling in a 1950s chauffeur car, which is one of the coolest cars in the movie, I think.
Which the steering wheel switches sides of the movie. I don't know if you got to notice that. Like in a chase scene later on when they're like changing their cars or whatever, like his is just like, yeah, he's driving on that side.
Dave immediately has to get used to it, so they spend a little talking in the car. He explains sorcery a bit, and then where do we end up? In freaking Chinatown, where this is a lot to unpack, because his first little thing he does, he's going to have to fight a dragon, a guy from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Horvath.
So real quick, like the thing that bothered me about this was, everything I say is just what bothers me about this movie. Anyway, the thing that bothered me about this was like, they're like, where's the Grimhold?
Yeah.
Jesus, you're right. Where's the doll? Where's the doll, Dave? They're all like, where's the doll? But Nick Cage can just cast a spell that makes like smoke appear over the fucking Grimhold doll.
Right.
Like it's a fucking video game waypoint,
Yeah,
it's like it's just like, oh, it's right over there. All right, we're going to Chinatown.
Yeah, that was it.
Chinatown scene, and we'll just talk about it as a scene as a whole because I don't need to go through each part. But like, you've got the Mortal Kombat guy who's kind of badass. The dragon coming to life looked good. The coloring and everything. I know it's probably a lot of all like made up shit and CGI and whatever.
No,
but even the close up shots where it has to be in Chinatown are real. You know, you can back off of it and it looks a little, you know, CGI-ish, but
I was fine. I didn't have any problem with like the effects in this movie.
Me neither. Yeah.
Like they were fine for. I mean, they don't. You know, some stuff doesn't completely hold up, but like it looked good back then, I'm sure, and it still looks pretty solid today. So yeah, I'm good with all the effects. And I did write down, it's like the, you know, it's like the dragon costume, like the people like you know walking in a log, and it's like it turns into a dragon. And it's
even
like,
the inside,
even the inside. Those people turned into part of the dragon, and then it catches on fire later on, and like lands back in the streets. Like, what kind of fucking psychological trauma do these people have? They got to go to the crazy house. Like,
Agreed. Also, before we get out on that scene, Chinatown, we get a reprise role of Nick Cage from 9/11.
Oh yeah,
which is awesome. World Trade Center. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just call it the 9/11 movie.
Yeah, I like that too. They both had the mustaches on, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, but like you know, he had taken all those needles into his like trench coat or whatever. There was like a couple needles like sticking out. Like,
I did see that.
All right, then we learn Dave wants to be a sorcerer. Training begins. We get a little montage. Find out about the shoes that he has to wear. Then we find out that Horvath is on a different mission. He finds a Morganian, somebody, a descendant
his
of
own apprentice,
whatever.
Morgana.
Fuck you, Disney. We learn this is Drake Stone, but let's go ahead and call him Chris Angel.
For sure. Totally mind freak.
Awful. Yeah, like everything you expect from a Chris Angel character, look, everything. They just straight ripped him off. He should get some money for this. I don't know if he did. I'd love to go back to look if he was upset about this character's portrayal.
Who knows?
Anyway, we also learn that love is going to get in the way. We get the jump scene in the subway where he's Jay rescues Becky by using a little bit of his sorcery that he just found. And you know what I thought about when I thought of the subway scene? Like that guy, the guy who jumped him, he pulls out that switchblade knife, and I just kept thinking and wrote down, because I didn't want to watch this movie anymore. I was like, that's a knife. That's not a knife. And I was like, man, I wish I was watching that movie right now. Anyway, we find out the Rising is going to happen at the ground zero of Wall Street. This is where Horvath wants the release of all of the demons.
Right.
And we're going to bring Morgana back, and we're going to take over the world and everything. But we got to knock some things out first, right?
Yeah. And they come to that realization, and then they need to immediately go back to their hideout and mark it on a map real big so they can find it later on in the movie.
Yep. I'll let y'all come back and touch on some of this, but I'm going to run Dave's part of this movie at this point by a little quickly. So we get the Tesla coil scene where he's creating music and wooing Becky.
Right.
Okay, I just want to say one thing about that real quick. It's like, that's cool and that is an actual thing, but it's like, if this dude's not musical at all, like there's no way he's figuring out the fucking notes and like figuring out like he's not figuring that out. I don't care. I mean, I guess he's a genius, but like,
what's cooler?
He listened to that song 2 days ago, which he played it on a radio, and then just fucking programmed it out on his Tesla coils.
As far as Tesla goes, what's cooler? What it can do with music in this movie, or like all those light bulbs in the film in The Prestige, or making the hats disappear, or all of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, fictional Tesla, fictional Tesla is cool.
Yeah.
Prestige
is awesome.
I thought you were going to say, what's better, programming a Tesla coil to play a song or programming the Showbiz Pizza band to play a song?
We get some scenes of Dave learning to use his sorcery and magic and back and forth with Balthazar. Right. Then we get the Fantasia scene before Becky's going to come over. He tries to use all of the mops and everything to clean up the whole place and uses a cleaning spell gone awry.
Right. So at this point in the movie, I felt really fucking stupid because I was like, oh, right. I'm making the connection.
Yeah.
Sorcerer's Apprentice was part of Fantasia. Fantasia or whatever.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's the IP.
I felt so stupid about that because I was just like, what is this? Like,
are they ripping off their own thing?
I don't know. I just didn't know.
Well,
because I don't feel like there's anything besides like mops
And
in that Fantasia thing, right?
Well,
Also, like, didn't
for
just
that-
a bunch of mops come to life, and
Yeah.
then that's like the whole point of that, like.
that part
They
of the
sure
movie.
shit
Yeah.
didn't have any of those sponges you used to wash dishes. Those things just kept coming out of the sink.
Yeah.
Then we get, like, Becky flees. Dave goes to look for her. He doesn't believe he belongs in Becky's friend group. They go up to the roof. He tells her the truth. We get this in every movie like this.
Right.
This is where I would believe him. If we've gone this far, I believe him at this point.
So you're Becky, not Bucky. And
No.
Dave tells you that he's a sorcerer.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
be like, show me.
I mean, what has she seen at this point to prove that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
She
right?
will see a big ass winged metal bird,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
weird as fuck.
That's the other thing too. That's like Nick Cage is like, we got to be discreet about revealing sorcery, and we got to
Yeah.
like hide it and stuff. And then motherfucker, like, spoiler alert, flies off on a bird at the end of the movie, like a giant metal bird.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Dave's lair after he tells her the truth, and she kind of believes him. Maybe not so much. Back to Dave's lair where we get the Drake Stone fight, which he pretends to be Dave and tricking Nick Cage. And it's like, huh? Like, how can you not call this? Feel
Well,
like
he
you've been
did
able to-
because he couldn't change his fingernails for some reason. He
Yeah,
could change his
of all
appearance
things.
to everything, but he couldn't change his fingernails.
Yeah.
Yep. Dave saves the day. Then we get a car chase scene, changing of the vehicles. This was pretty cool.
This was the scene where the drivers or
the
the
other
steering wheel
side.
switched to the other side for
Oh.
like that scene, and it wasn't even just because like
It was
like,
because the car changed? Like,
no, because I thought that too. I was like, but no, he's like driving on the other side like initially, and it's like,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
so it's a weird switch. So I guess it's just a magic car.
they just
anyway,
get newer
or-
versions of their cars too. Like
Yeah.
they're the same color, and it just like turns into the 2010 model.
Yeah, but when the taxi turned into like the sports car, like the sign
Oh,
that was
yeah.
on top of the taxi just fell off. It's like, what
Yeah.
what does that mean in terms of magic?
Yeah, yeah.
After this, Horvath turns on his buddy Chris Angel because he needs to steal his mojo. And when you start to learn that the more mojo you got, kind of like the Infinity Stones, the more powerful you become, and you can do things like raise Morgana from the dead and take over the world with all these dead people.
Sure.
He turns on Drake, steals his mojo, then he releases Abigail Williams, who we'll call Wednesday Addams or some shit like that.
I mean, yeah.
She kidnaps Becky, then her job is done, so we don't need her anymore. So Horvath turns on Abigail and steals
Right.
her mojo.
Okay, so Nick Cage captures Morgana, the most like
Powerful.
badass sorcerer
Right.
ever, inside of his girlfriend. 'Cause
Right.
He was like, she was killing her from the inside out or whatever.
Right.
That's the first layer.
Right.
The next person he went to hunt down was a little girl. Like that's how he had to start off. He's like, well, I guess I
Yeah.
gotta start hunting these sorcerers down. So he's like, all right, first one,
This
the girl from the Salem witch trials,
Yeah, yeah. I guess so.
which was
Damn.
also like 1,000 years
Had
after
to be.
like what the
That
beginning
time
of the movie,
period.
right?
Yeah. That's about right. Damn, what a boring ass.
I fucking hate this movie.
We learn that the final shell is broken, and with the help of a necklace, a ring, Horvath is getting more powerful and powerful with his cane. He needs one more thing, and we get that very shortly after he takes down his Morganian henchman, or whatever you want to call him. He gets Dave's ring because,
Because he kidnaps Becky.
yeah, he's got
Yeah.
Becky. You want to trade? We're going to trade, right? Balthazar is okay with it. He understands, which that sounds nothing like the Nick Cage I know, because the Nick Cage I know in the one movie that we did where he had the guy in Thailand,
Bangkok Dangerous.
Bangkok Dangerous, he wouldn't have put up for this shit.
Why do you like that movie?
I don't know. It's such a good movie.
Dude, I agree. I mean, I don't know. It was a total character flip for him also, too. It's like, and I guess you don't want to make this dude feel bad for what he just did, but also he kind of just maybe caused the end of the world because he couldn't just make the sacrifice of one person or what,
Right.
It's a tough decision. I mean, obviously no one wants to sacrifice anybody, but he just had a total flip. The whole time he's like, love is dangerous, love is a distraction. Oh, Dave, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Balthazar now needs to go it alone because Dave is ringless. That means he has no power. He's kind of a pussy. But, of course, Dave, being the sorcerer that he doesn't know that he is at this point, is still insecure but wants to help out Balthazar, his friend. And Becky wants to come too. I said typical. It's like every fucking one of these kid superhero movies, the girl always wants to come.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, we didn't know Becky was as strong as she was. Becky actually holds some powers herself. The ability to move a fucking a satellite with her feet on top of a building. Because this is what is called upon by Becky in this part of the movie. And that is her job. And she technically saves the day.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the whole catalyst of their plan. All these satellite dishes just happen
to be pointed towards each other.
To create a pentagram, or whatever it was, and it's like,
which
that's
might be
it.
Real life.
Like, I mean, you're right. But like, that's it. She can kick the satellite,
just
a couple degrees off kilter.
She fucking swung that satellite around. Like, first of all, if you're gonna put a satellite way up on top of a building, on top of a big ass metal thing, that motherfucker can't move. If there's a storm, that can't fall over. If they bolt the shit out of that down. And in this movie, we have to suspend reality. So Becky, who's about 5'9", about 78 pounds, can kick an entire dish. I couldn't even kick the fucking satellite dish off my roof because that shit's bolted down.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Anyway, let's go back to the fight. So we got Tesla coil strapped to a car. This is in lieu of the ring. This is going to be our new power.
He's going to use
science, right? Because sorcery is magic and science.
Yeah,
we learned that a lot. Morgana is released downtown in New York. She starts the rising spell.
But like, all it took was a shock from a Tesla coil to counteract this whole fucking magic ring shit.
Dude.
Like,
sounds like Tesla was the prime Merlinian.
Anyway,
prime Morganian.
Yeah.
Let's get through it. Horvath and Balthazar fight one final time in the middle of what is that? That's not.
It's not Central Park.
It's not Central Park.
Times Square or.
It was down next to Wall Street where the bull was. Because
they had to fucking do that.
Horvath wakes up the bull that you'll find down there on Wall Street. The bull has a couple little scares with Dave, nothing big. The big ass metal eagle comes in and takes the bull away. That was a pointless part of the movie. That's just eye candy right there.
Yeah, my kid really got a kick out of that part.
Anyway, while Gorgana's doing the spell, we get a Horvath and Balthazar fight. Dave's Tesla stops Horvath, though, comes in, gives him a Tesla shock.
Yeah. It really felt like Monica Bellucci just did not want to be in this movie. I feel like, I wonder if she was cast and she was like, no, and they wrote her out a lot or something.
She's not in the movie. I mean,
she's not, and when she is in it at the end, I mean, I know she's supposed to be possessed or whatever, but it's just this is so there's a lot of flat acting in this movie already, but that was just oh shit, man, she does not give a fuck. This is not, it's not menacing, it's not anything, it's just the most fucking just bleh.
Yeah.
Balthazar absorbs Morgana's spirit from Veronica's body. I don't even know where Veronica came from. I can't even remember that part. Anyway, so we get the trapping of the Grimhold. We're kind of we learn. Here's one thing that I was questioning is was it Ghost Rider where all those spirits were coming out of the thing and they got to attack a little bit? In this, she sets the rising up and it lasts for 10 seconds before Becky saves the day.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't even see what these things can do.
Exactly. None of these dead Morganians get to do anything. They're half formed and
they just had to turn around and go back. It's insane. The end of this movie, I was like, dude, we could have done so much different things and more of this. Dude. Anyway, we learned basically that Dave has the power, that he didn't need the ring all along.
Yeah.
He fights the most, the most badass Morganian of all time.
Yep.
Just as a newbie, as a novice.
Yeah.
And
no
just
ring.
knows what to do, destroys her. Then we get the whole ending. Oh, don't let me die. You got to kill me. I don't want you to die. And, like, you know, they got to trap Nick Cage back in the grim hold.
Yeah.
Nick Cage acts like he's going to die. He doesn't die. He wakes up. He makes out with Veronica, gives her the fucking necklace. Then we
happy
get
ending.
Dave walking out saying, you want breakfast. I've seen this 1,000 times in these freaking movies.
You're right.
But you know what I haven't seen? Flying away on a metal eagle to France for breakfast from New York.
It's so infuriating. It's so fucking infuriating because it's like just throws in the face of the whole like, hey, we have to keep this on the down low. But I guess not anymore. Like now that Morgana is like trapped again,
it's like, let's flaunt
be
this
flagrant
shit.
or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro. Yeah. You're on a metal bird that came off the Empire State Building, or was it the Chrysler Building, or one of those like buildings. It's like,
but that's not the end. There's an end credit scene. They clearly thought this was going to be a success, and they set it up for another movie.
Oh, I didn't even watch the end credits.
Horvath goes and gets his hat, right?
Yeah, but you see Mickey's hat from that wizard hat he's wearing. You see that hat, and then Horvath picks up his hat, his bowler hat or whatever. Anyway, so it's like he survived, and I guess they're gonna
fight Mickey.
We'll put the end credit scene up on the video. If you're listening to us right now, you can always watch this on YouTube each and every week.
Movie marriage. Let's just do it. Get on a plane, go to Vegas, and do it now.
All right, I'm going to go first. I got Movie Marriage as National Treasure 2, not 1, because 2 was way worse, and Doctor Strange, because it doesn't even deserve Doctor Strange. I'm just kind of giving you 2 movies that I think can, inspire us.
I almost went Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I see that.
I put Never Ending Story for the whole like bookstore cabana, Arcana Cabana. And I put Star Wars A New Hope because you have like a kid that's, fucking lame, and he's got a mentor that's, badass. You're just missing Han Solo and Chewbacca, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they go fight the bad guy. Alfred Molina's Vader, I guess, and then you've got the Emperor.
Yeah.
When did Disney buy Star Wars?
I don't know.
Because I was thinking about Star Wars when I was watching this movie too, and I was just like, because they make a reference to it with like, these aren't the droids you're looking for, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this was like shortly after they had purchased them, and like
they could use.
Because you're right, Star Wars is fucking it. I mean, I guess it's like any. There's so many things. It's like somebody that's barely trained, but then still can defeat the most powerful fucking wizard or enemy or whatever it is.
Old trope.
I went National Treasure, and then I went like, God. You guys both had better ones. What's the fucking magician movie? Now You See Me, Now You Don't, or something.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That's not a good one.
Yeah, but
that's good enough. That explains it.
I mean, you guys had better. Let's continue on.
Tagline.
Before we rate this movie, we're going to do tagline. That's where we take the tagline of the movie that you can find on the movie poster, and then we create our own that we think are more appropriate after watching The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I only found one tagline. The Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's the coolest job ever. Which, like, man,
that's the tagline?
That's the tagline.
I mean,
found.
yeah.
The actual one.
There was another one that was like, a job so great, it's magic. But, I mean, that's on IMDb.
All right, let's create some that are more appropriate for this. Who wants to go first?
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. I taste sour in my mouth.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Yo, Dave pissed his pants.
I got the Sorcerer's Apprentice. You're such a bad liar, Disney.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Abracadabra. That was a YouTube one.
All right, let's get on to rating The Sorcerer's Apprentice so we can go ahead and get out of here. All right, we're on a 3-tiered rating system. You know this: top, middle, worst. I'm gonna just go ahead and go first this week. I don't pass out many of these, but it was appropriate this week. It was excruciating to watch. I can't stand Jay Baruchel's voice or face or anything. I think they could have cast a better role there. It was kind of fun, but not so much.
Yeah, You know, I watched it last night and I was a little drunk, and I was having a good time. Like, Alfred Molina's awesome. I thought Nick Cage was charming. He was fine. He was just
Nick Cage did great.
He did great. I mean, he was, you know, you had a few moments where he kind of like showed a little edge.
Yeah.
What was that one line he had where he's anyway, it doesn't matter. But I watched it again today and I suffered
With a hangover?
Yes. With a hangover. And
And it
I'll
continues
never watch
the
it.
trend.
I'll never watch it again. But there are some things I liked about it, but it's not enough to. I couldn't recommend it to anybody.
Okay, so like, I thought Nick Cage was fine in it. I liked Alfred Molina in it. Like, I thought he, you know, like I said, chewed up the scenes. He was just like leaning into the character that he was.
Yeah.
I am so mixed on Jay Brochelle or whatever his name is. Like, I feel like I kind of don't like him, but at the same time, he is kind of charming in this role and does do kind of a good job. Like, this is not a great movie at all, but he's like, does good in the role that he was given, I guess. And I just want to say, like, I watched last night. I was not a little bit drunk, but I was up late and I put on This Is the End and was like watching that again. I was like, man, he's good in this movie. Like, he's kind of charming in this like nerdy, like sour faced character. Like, I shouldn't like him, but he has like just this weird, certain like introvert charm or something that like that I can get on board with. So I don't fucking hate him. I don't hate him in this movie. I don't think he did the best job. I think there's so much flat acting. There's just like I said, Monica Bellucci, like not even barely in the movie, and the part that she's in the movie is terrible. Like the fucking sidekick Merlinian guy, terrible. But I just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just kidding. This is the fucking worst movie.
Okay, good.
This is the worst. I'm like, I was trying to sugarcoat the shit. I'm fine with like, you know, some of the acting and shit, but fucking fuck this movie. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
I've watched it 3 times now, all the way through. I watched it once, just like straight up just watching it. I wasn't drunk, old boy, and I had the same kind of a reaction. I was like, this isn't so bad. Yeah. And then I watched it again and I was like, oh fuck, this is real bad. And then I watched it today with my kid, and that was my note watch. And like, he's like, oh, I love this movie. This is great. Don't you love it, Dad? I'm like, oh, son, son. Yes, I love it, son. We'll have a discussion later on in life.
It's like.
All right, you guys are witnessing something special. All 3 of us agreed on our rating
rare.
this week. This is very rare in this experiment. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're here every other week. Next time on Casting Cage, we are up to 2011's Season of the Witch.
Ooh, I think I've got it on DVD at the house.
Season of the Witch is a supernatural action adventure film starring Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman, a.k.a. Hellboy.
Hell yeah.
As delusioned crusader knights who escort a young woman accused of witchcraft to a monastery to stop the Black Plague.
Abigail Williams?
Only to discover she is possessed by a powerful demon herself.
Yeah.
Starring Nicolas Cage, Ron Perlman, Claire Foy, Robert Sheelan, Stephen Campbell. I've never heard of half of you guys.
This is like a medieval times movie.
I think so.
Dude, I'm going to hate this so much. Yeah, a lot of mist and woods and big swords that they can't wield because they would be way too heavy.
They're 5 pounds.
They're not.
We've
5
talked
pounds.
about this. Yes, they are.
All right, we're gonna see Nick Cage in his long hair era coming up again. Wherever you're listening,
his hair was great in this. That wig.
It's gonna continue.
It was
in that.
refreshing.
It was a strong wig for 2011.
Right, but it was refreshing.
Wherever you're listening to us, thanks so much. If you don't mind, take a moment to like, rate, subscribe, tell your friends, get out there in the community. And we want you, while you're walking down the street of your city and you think that
Chasing
you can create magic and science and put them together and become a sorcerer, we want you to stand on that street corner and from your hands, we want you rugging out a big...
Tell your mama name.
His name was Dave. He was a student Drawing pictures on windows to impress a girl he knows. Do you want to go out? Please use the checkbox. And when she put the paper down, that's when Merlin came around. He blew the note away. It stuck to everything. That's when Balthazar appears and Dave peed his pants at Arcana Cabana. Dave said there was fire, and they said he was a liar at Arcana Cabana. Magic and antiques and a fight that made Dave pee his pants.